fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. Psalms 139, verse 14. Happy Black History Month from my family to yours. February is the nation's annual observance of Black History Month. It's a time of year when we pause to remember the many contributions, both big and small, that Blacks have made and continue to make. But 1 month a year is too short a time to properly honor Black achievement. Black history has been a part of our nation from its founding, and it should be celebrated every day. This is a time of year when we most often invoke the names Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and a handful of other civil rights pioneers. It's a time of year when we stop to remember the sacrifices made by those who fought for equality for Blacks and to reflect on the progress that's been made in the past 2 generations. Black history deserves to be celebrated every day, and not just because it's the right thing to do. It should be celebrated because it's an important part of our nation's history. Without it, the American story would be incomplete. As important a role as Blacks have played in our development as a nation, too often their contributions get short-shifted in history classes. Black History Month is upon us. It's a time to reflect and celebrate the significant contributions that people of color have made towards the betterment of this nation known as America.
Okay, I read this story a couple years ago, and I guess by popular demand, someone wanted to hear it again. And the story I'm about to read is called, What If There Were No Black People in the World? This is a story of a little boy named Theo who woke up one morning and asked God, what if there were no black people in the world? Well, God thought about that for a moment and then said, son, follow me around today and let's just see what the world would be like if there were no black people. Get dressed and we'll get started. Theo ran to his room to put on his clothes and shoes, but there were no shoes and his clothes were all wrinkled. He looked for the iron, but then he reached for the ironing board. It was no longer there. You see, Sarah Boone, a black woman, invented the ironing board. And Jan E. Matzelinger, a black man, invented the shoelacing machine. Oh well, God said, go do your hair. Theo ran to his room to comb his hair, but the comb was not there. You see, Walter Salmons, a black man, invented the comb. Theo decided to just brush his hair, but the brush was gone too. You see, Lydia O. Newman, a black female, invented the brush. Well, this was a sight. No shoes, wrinkled clothes, hair a mess without the hair care inventions, a man of C.J. Walker. Well, you get the picture. God told Theo, let's do the chores around the house and then take a trip to the grocery store. Theo's job was to sweep the floor. He swept and swept and swept. When he reached for the dustpan, it was not there. You see, Lloyd P. Ray, a black man, invented the dustpan. So he swept the pile of dirt over in the corner and left it there. He then decided to mop the floor, but the mop was gone. You see, Thomas W. Stewart, a black man, invented the mop. Theo thought to himself, I'm not having any luck. Well, son, God said, we should wash the clothes and prepare a list for the grocery store. When he finished, Theo went to place the clothes in the dryer, but it was not there. You see, George T. Salmon, a black man, invented the clothes dryer. Theo got a pencil and some paper to prepare a list for the market, but noticed that the pencil lid was broken. He was out of luck because John Love, a black man, invented the pencil sharpener. He reached for a pen, but it was not there because William Purvis, a black man, invented the fountain pen. As a matter of fact, Lee Burridge invented a typewriting machine and W.A. Levette the printing press. So they decided to head out to the market. Well, then Theo opened the door. When Theo opened the door, he noticed that the grass was as high as he was tall. You see, the lawnmower was invented by John Burr, a black man. They made their way over to the car and found it just wouldn't go. You see, Robert Spikes, a black man, invented the automatic gear shift, and Joseph Gamble invented the superchange system for the internal combustion engines. They noticed that a few cars the cars that were moving were running into each other and having wrecks because there were no traffic signals. You see, Garrett A. Morgan, a black man, invented the traffic light. Well, it was getting late, so they walked to the market, got their groceries, and returned home. When they were about to put away the milk, eggs, and butter, they noticed that the refrigerator was gone. You see, John Standard, a black man, invented the refrigerator, so they put the food on the counter. By this time, they noticed it was getting mighty cold. Theo went to turn up the heat, and what do you know? Olive Parker, a black female, invented the heating furnace. Even in the summertime, they would have been out of luck because Frederick Jones, a black man, invented the air conditioner. It was almost time for Theo's father to arrive home. He usually took the bus, but there was no bus because this precursor was the electric trolley, which was invented by another black man named Albert T. Robinson. He usually took the elevator from his office on the 20th floor, but there was no elevator because Alexander Miles, a black man, invented the elevator. He usually dropped off the office mail in a nearby mailbox, but it was no longer there because Philip Downing, a black man, invented the letter drop mailbox, and William Berry invented the postmarking and canceling machine. Theo sat at the kitchen table with his head in his hands. When his father arrived, he asked, "Why are you sitting in the dark?" Why? Because Louis Howard Ladner, a black man, invented the filament within the light bulb. Theo quickly learned what it would be like if there were no black people in the world. Not to mention, if he were ever sick and needed blood, Charles Drew, a black scientist, found a way to preserve and store blood, which led to starting the world's first blood bank. And what if a family member had to have surgery? That would have not been possible without Dr. Daniel Hill Williams, a black doctor who performed the first open heart surgery. So if you ever wonder, like Theo, what the world would be without blacks, well, it's pretty plain to see. We could very well still be in the dark.
We are blessed to be celebrating and learning about history today. We are even more fortunate to be living and to see history in the making. Whatever your political persuasion, Barack Obama is making history as he runs for the Democratic Barack Obama was born August 4th, 1961, and is a junior United States Senator from Illinois and a leading candidate in the Democratic nomination for the 2008 presidential election. The U.S. Senate Historical Office lists him as the 5th African-American senator in the U.S. history and the 3rd to have been popularly elected, and the only African-American currently serving in the Senate. Obama was born in Honolulu to a black Kenyan. His father was from Kenya, Africa, and a white mother. He lived most of his early life in the U.S. state of Hawaii. Those of you who don't know what Hawaii is, it's a state. It's the 50th state, and it was inducted in 1959. From ages 6 to 10, he lived in Indonesia, and his mother, he had an Indonesian stepfather, that's why they lived there. He's a graduate from Columbus University and Harvard Law School. Obama worked as a community organizer, University of Chicago lecturer, and civil rights lawyer before returning for public office and serving in the Illinois Senate from 1997 to 2004. After an unsuccessful bid for the seat in the U.S. House of Representatives in 2000, he announced his campaign for the U.S. Senate in 2003. Throughout his early years, he was commonly known at home and school as Barry. Obama's parents met while he was attending the University of Hawaii, where his father was enrolled as a foreign student. His mom and dad separated when he was 2 years old and later divorced. His father went to Harvard to pursue a PhD and then returned to Kenya, where he died in a traffic accident in 1982. His mother married another foreign student who was from Indonesia. Obama attended schools in Indonesia from the ages of 6 to 10, where classes were taught in Indonesia. He returned to Honolulu to live with his maternal grandparents while attending school 5th grade until his graduation in 1979. Obama's mother died of ovarian cancer a few months after the publication of his memoir. Obama describes his experience growing up in his mother's American middle-class family. His knowledge about his African father, who returned once for a brief visit in 1971, came mainly through his family stories and photographs. Of his early childhood, Obama writes that my father liked nothing like the people, were not anything like the people around me, and that his father was black and his mother was white, and he doesn't have many memories of them. The book describes his struggle as a young adult to reconcile social perceptions of multicultural heritage. Obama writes that he's not been raised in a religious home. He describes his family, his mother raised by non-religious parents, detached from religion, yet in many ways the most spiritually awakened person that he's ever known. He described his Kenyan father as raised Muslim, but a confirmed atheist. By the time his parents met, his Indonesian stepfather, who saw religion as not particularly useful. Bala, in his 20s, while working in the local churches as a community organizer, came to understand the power of African American religion tradition and spurred the social change. Obama writes that it was because of his newfound understanding of religion that he's been able to do the things that he's been able to do. And he was able to finally walk down the aisle at Trinity United Christian Church one day and be baptized. He is a member of Trinity United Church for over 20 years. Obama has encouraged Democrats to reach out to the evangelicals and other religious people by saying that if we truly speak to people where they are to communicate our hopes and values that's relevant to their own, we cannot abandon the field of religion, is what Obama says. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living during the days of a phenomenal event. African Americans have never seen days like last Tuesday. The Black U.S. Senator is gaining widespread support from voters of different racial and economic backgrounds. It may be difficult to believe, but we might in our lifetime see an African American occupy the White House. I was over this morning, and he was saying, I wonder is he going to put that basketball hoop in the front, that barbecue grill in the back. He is the most diverse multicultural background, and he has the most diverse and multicultural background, and has a real shot at the presidential nomination. His presence and his ideas have changed the attitudes of America, and is a wake-up call for all who has limited ideas for African American people. Obama's campaign is titled Powered by Hope, and his message is unifying people, offering the change. As Black history begins, it will end in a few weeks, and many of us won't remember the accomplishment of many Black people. But I'm sure no